anything I can get my hands on about Veep, I read, because it's you guys. You can just tell how hard you guys have worked on it and how much you all love the show. Just like you said, just as much as the fans do.
And we love each other. That's because we were so abusive to each other in the show, and people were called the worst names. I got it. I mean, I think Gary was just treated really badly, but I wasn't called so many names. I was called Cow Eyes, I remember. And I was called a bitchy mime was one of them. But like Jonah, who played Tim Simon's place, he was called the worst. And it's hard not to take that personally when they like are talking about. He was called once. Somebody said, "You have a weird shape." And he's like, "How do I not take that personally?"
Tony, I'm so glad you're here.
I like the Papa Yellow nail you got.
Thank
you. That's my
you.
favorite color.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I love yellow.
It's my favorite color.
You got a Papa Yellow going too.
I look like a bad boy band right now.
You look
awesome.
awesome.
Thank you.
Did you put together this outfit yourself?
No.
No way. No way.
There's no way I did.
It's so hip.
But I put it on this morning and I was like, okay.
It's
I don't know
good.
if this is the choice. Thank you.
No, you look good. You're in Toy Story 4. I know that.
Yep.
You play Forky.
I play Forky, who he kind of made by the little girl Bonnie, and thinks he's only made to like help people eat chili and then the trash. And Woody comes along and he's like, "You've got a bigger purpose than that. You have value."
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that
Plastic
beautiful?
has value.
It does, and so do we.
We do.
However you see yourself, however you feel about yourself, you got purpose and value.
Oh my gosh,
Guys, let's preach.
Let's preach. That's the message there, is that even when you feel that is the hardest thing to do as a human being, is to, when you're feeling bad about yourself, to like yourself, but you're all you have.
Sure, and also realize that those feelings kind of come and go. You know, they don't stick so much. You know, you can kind of acknowledge, like, oh yeah, I'm having a moment where I'm feeling like this, or I'm thinking that, it's whatever. And it's like, it'll pass.
That's that is really important to always realize, because when you're feeling so sad, sometimes you're like, almost the pain is that it won't go away. You're almost anticipating, like, when I'm never gonna feel good again, and it's like, no, it will pass. It's like
that's the biggest
storm.
lie. I think that's the lie that we probably tell ourselves, is that it's not going to change.
Yes.
You know,
and it always does.
Always. That we're in a constant state of change.
And even when things are going great.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. Where whenever I've had a TV show in the past and people are like, "Congratulations," I'm always like, "It's gonna get canceled," and that's not me being like negative. I'm just saying, almost want
to prepare.
Yeah, I just want to know that, things come and go, and
especially in this business.
Yes,
fully cyclical.
Yes, it is. I've been doing this thing recently. This is embarrassing to admit.
Yeah, let's hear it.
When I have guy troubles where like I feel rejected by a guy, I keep trying to go back to, like, I'm really liking myself recently. I've been working on like liking myself a lot more, because it's all I have, and I'm just starting to realize that at 35 years of age. But I've been doing this thing where I'm like, oh, I'm not hearing from this guy, and then I go, wait a second, Nikki Glaser likes you. She's so cool. Oh my God, like, you're so lucky she's into you right now. And I like flatter myself by liking myself. Isn't that crazy? But it kind of works.
If it works.
Yeah.
Because
it's a self-help technique.
Yes. Do you have any self-help techniques? Any little hacks?
I think, I love me some hacks.
Yeah.
My thing is to stay present. I think that's the most challenging thing of, like, somebody said, I say somebody said, my therapist. But it's just that sense of, like, whenever you find yourself checked out somewhere else, you kind of, touch the table around you or touch your jacket, like ground yourself. And that whole thing of, like, you have to wake yourself up 100 times a day to where you are. Like right now I'm talking to Nikki and her friends, and it's like, that's where I am right now. And because I'll be somewhere else in my head. I'll just be checked out.
I know. Our thoughts, you just forget that your thoughts really aren't you. It's like there are things that are coming into your head, but it's not. Because I don't know. I just got into this thing of like your thoughts. If you can control your thoughts, and your thoughts will determine how you feel. I always thought my feelings were like controlling my thoughts. But if you are able to just let thoughts kind of come and go and realize that they're, like you said, they're not there to stay. I picture myself being like walking into the ocean and like getting hit by waves.
Yeah.
And instead of just like getting hit by them, just like diving into them and letting them pass over you gracefully.
I used to struggle with panic attacks.
Yeah.
When I was younger, and it was that sense of, I remember one time this was years ago, I was about to go on Conan, and right before they pulled the curtain, I felt that dread come over me, and I was like, oh shit, this is that moment where you either bolt or keep walking. And it was that thing of like letting it wash over you rather than fighting it, just like, you know what? what? Here's this feeling. I'm going to let it wash it over you. And it always passes.
Yes.
Always
you felt
passes.
that right as they were about to pull the curtain
and
back.
one other technique I did was, I remember these two guys who were holding the curtain. And I was like, I started asking them questions. I was like, oh, where are you from? What do you do? What's going on? Because the key is get my eyes off myself, because you kind of get on that self crazy in your mind. And it's like, I just got to get my eyes off myself and start thinking about somebody else.
Yes.
That's so good.
I had a similar thing on Conan, because his new format is just talking to him.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit, and I was going out there with like jokes to do, almost like a stand-up act, but I had to make it conversational. So I'm not used to telling my jokes with someone going, yeah, and then interjecting.
Yeah.
So I remember looking at him and being like, I don't know what I'm saying next. I don't know what I'm saying next.
Do you have those moments where it's like you're floating above your body and you're watching yourself talk and you're like, shut up.
Yes.
Stop moving your mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
It happens in those moments when it's live and you're just like, I don't know what I'm going to say next. And I don't know what I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
That's wild. I'm glad that you have that too, because I felt like maybe this is the mark of someone who shouldn't be doing this.
No,
because I'm like, what
another thing I do about the feelings thing is, somebody said once, like, it's like you watch cars on a highway. It's like you're just kind of like, oh yeah, there's that feeling. There's that thought, like being a dad, I'm like, oh, there's that thought that someone's going to kidnap, just crazy thoughts that I have, someone's going to kidnap my daughter or something nutty. But the problem is, I remember years ago, you feel a victim to your thoughts and feelings. It's that kind of sense of like, oh my God, it's suffocating. However, then you go, oh yeah, you almost label them. There's that thought, there's that thought, and they just come and go.
Yes, they really do.
Like, there's that thought, I'm on Conan and I'm screwing up and all that, because there's that thought, and then you just kind of, because it's almost like if you fight and be like, oh, I can't believe I'm thinking that, or I don't want to think that, it almost gives it more power.
Yes.
Rather than just saying, yeah, of course you're going to come up and when I'm doing this, of course you're there.
You know what you just reminded me of, and I'm trying to think of when you have a floater in your eye, and if you watch it, it keeps like moving to the way, but if you just let it go, it'll drift out. But if you watch it, it'll like track with your eye. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, and it also becomes the only thing you're thinking about.
Yes, but we have so many floaters, just like in our eyes, which are thoughts, and they're not you. They're just like these outside things that they're like trash blowing in the wind, and you can choose to like run after it, or you can just like American Beauty it and like watch it and then watch it fly away.
That's a good image. I love that image.
That's great.
I love that movie.
God, Tony, I loved the Veep season, the final season of Veep so much. You were so amazing on it.
I did too.
Your final scene, boy, man, that came out of nowhere for me, because I can't believe I'm not gonna cry at the end of Veep. Like, they did a great job of making me feel like, this sense of closure. I laughed. I felt just like, I'm ready to let the show go, and I feel good about it. Like, it just was a great finale. And I can't believe I'm not going to cry, though. Like, it just seems like I should. And then you come in, and oh my God,
wasn't that sad?
It was beautiful.
Though? I appreciate you saying that, because I love the show as much as you do, which is very kind to hear. But it's also, he was in such an abuse cycle with Selena.
Yes.
He was just in like a dog returned to its vomit. Just constantly keep going back. And then what she did to him at the end, you know what though? That's the only thing that was going to break him from that cycle. So it was to me, I saw it as a gift. It was like, that's the only thing that was going to bring him out.
Wow, I love that. You're right, because it was like, how much can this guy take? Is there a limit? And
he would have kept going.
He would have
100% kept going.
And when you show up at the end and you put it was so good. I read so much. I read the an oral history you guys did, an interview.
Oh yeah, in Hollywood Reporter or something.
The thing that I kept butting up against was that you all talked about how hard it was to make this show, how exhausting it was. And I don't hear that about a lot of comedy shows. I mean, you hear about it like when they made Titanic. It was freezing in the water. Like, that's how you guys talk about the show, because you wanted to get every little joke in. Can you talk to me about that? Like, why is that different than other shows you've worked on?
Well, I mean, I think probably the challenge was, just to say, like, it was hard, but it was I'm so grateful and such a joy. But the tough, I think, was we shot like 15 pages in a day, which is very rare for television. Usually shoot like 3 or 4, but it was like an organized chaos. Like they wanted it always to look chaotic. So it took a lot of choreography to say, okay, now you come in here, and then with her, all right, you're going to drop your coat there, and then we're going to put your coat back on. And you didn't just have to do it, you had to find the right rhythm.
It was a dance.
Like, as a comic actress yourself, it's like you know when it doesn't feel right, and you're like, something feels off, and then when it does feel right, you're like, this feels right.
Yes.
And getting to that place was tricky.
And it would how much would you guys rehearse before you would start shooting?
We used to rehearse a lot more, but we would have a good time to kind of get that kind of chaos together. But then the thing is, like typical TV, you don't spend much time on it, and then it's done, and then it's shot in like 3 takes, and you're like, wow, then I'm never going to do that again.
Never.
Whereas in film, you might spend 2 weeks on one scene.
Yeah.
So it was quick.
And the thing that I like about Veep so much, and especially your character, and I found myself doing this so much in this last season, is that you would have these little comments under your breath that I would. First of all, I always watch with the subtitles on because I don't want to miss a single joke.
I did that with Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you had to.
I didn't really fully understand what was going on.
Nor did I ever. I didn't even attempt with that show.
Well, no, that's a whole other topic.
What?
Well, I watched the very first episode years ago, and they pushed that kid out the window, and I was like, I'm out. I can't see children in peril. It's just too much. And so then I wanted to watch the final season with my wife because she was a big fan, and so I watched a 12-minute YouTube to figure out what's going on, and then I was in. But but I still had to watch subtitles. I didn't know what they were talking about, but I kind of got it.
Yeah, subtitles really do help even when you speak the language that they're speaking. And I found it with you especially. Like there
I love
was
that you
this
say that like I speak the Game of Thrones language.
Oh wait, that is a weird language.
Even when you speak their language, it's still confusing.
But I remember there was one scene where you were talking about there was just some line you had where if you and Selena had run together and someone made a joke about it and you go, we would have killed it. But I had to go back and listen because the subtitle didn't even get it. Like the guy that was transcribing didn't even get it. I go, what did he whisper in her ear? And finally I go, we would have killed it.
We would have killed it.
It's so subtle.
That's his dream. She is the second coming. And nobody has woken up to that.
No one. Oh, God. And you talk a lot about, or you were just talking about how when you shoot something and then you're done and you can't go back to it. I've been struggling with that too because I just taped a Netflix special and I'm going back to edit it.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Nikki. That's huge.
It's so hard.
Where did you do it?
I did it in LA. And I did an hour and a half and I have to cut it down to an hour and it's brutal to watch myself. Have you ever had to edit yourself?
No. Well, here's the thing. This is why I have such admiration for what you just told me because I don't mind watching Veep or Arrested. I kind of a little bit detached from myself. It's watching myself on talk shows where I'm just like,
yeah,
because that's me and that's how I come off. And so you're watching an hour and a half of just you being you.
Yes.
Which that is tricky, and it's also cutting down. Cutting 30 minutes off is not easy. You just have to cut out a lot of crowd reaction.
I have to cut out like actual jokes and just
like killing your babies.
It is, but it's also.
Sorry,
it's like throwing your babies out of a castle.
I meant to say killing your darlings, and it came out like babies. God, Hale, as he promotes Toy Story 4. What's happening? Oh my God.
It's brutal. I just don't. You know what I love about doing like TV, like when you can just tape something and then you go, well, I can't edit it. Whatever it turns into, if I don't like it, I can blame it on external forces beyond myself. But when it's just you're like, anything that's wrong with it is me.
You're in the room the whole time.
Yeah, man. This is what I did. I've never pushed something so much in my life. I was supposed to give notes on it and just cut out 30 minutes for the past 2 weeks. And they're following up with Netflix is like, hey, we'd love to see your notes. And I just couldn't do it. And so I just asked my friends what they thought. And I did a focus group and I pulled all of I paid my friends to watch it because I just go, I can't. I'm getting hot even thinking about it. But I eventually had to watch it last night and it's so procrastinating You can get so much done when you procrastinate. I cleaned my house. I organized. I got I worked out so much.
A lot of self-talk.
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah.
But do you procrastinate? Do you have problems with procrastination?
I do, but I found out that I think I have a little touch of the ADD or something, because when I drink coffee, I get very, very focused.
Oh.
And so in the morning, I am very focused, and that's a really good time to work. And then everything else, unless I have structure, I'll just watch reality shows the whole time.
What reality shows are you into?
I watch some Real Housewives with my wife.
Yeah.
And we watch Amazing Race, Survivor. I've seen RuPaul. I was guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race this year, so I got into that. Contouring, still don't understand it, but I'm amazed by it.
Oh my God, it's incredible.
Amazed.
It's transformative.
I don't understand how those dark lines that they put on the face and then they blend them in, how it changes the face. I don't get
nuts.
it.
Thanks to the Kardashians.
Well, I mean,
anyone can have a face like that
right
now. It's crazy. You can
every YouTuber out there, it seems like.
Yeah. And when you get it wrong, it looks so terrible. But so I love reality programming too. Would you ever do a reality show?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. Unless it's like a competition, because I'm sure you do this when you're watching these shows. I kind of think you guys have a family this is not going to go away. Like, this is going to be your legacy on having these moments that, by the way, are edited not by you. So it's like, who knows how you're going to come out, and that's going to be a part of your legacy. Do you want that?
Yeah.
So it's tricky.
It is. That's the thing. I'm dying to do a reality show. Like, that's all I want to do.
Really? What kind of a reality show?
I don't
want
to memorize lines. I don't want to practice. I don't want to do any of the.
Did you have when you were doing your hour-and-a-half set? Did you have like a sheet of paper that you would refer to, or how did that work?
I had done it so many times. I had it memorized, but I had a teleprompter just in case.
You did have
like
a
just
teleprompter
with
in the back.
Words, just
with
like
words.
one word, like almost
Your
like
set
a
list.
a set list.
If you, after you were watching it, if you could think of one moment or one story that you told that immediately gives you joy that you were able to put that out there, what would be that? What would be? Which one would that be?
It's encouraging women not to sleep with men.
Good.
Ever.
Yep. Hell yeah. Woo.
Not ever. You know what it is? I really feel like I'm stop. Don't sleep with guys too soon, girls. And I'm. It's just across the board. Girls need to stop letting penises in their vaginas too soon. You can do other things with penises, and you can make out, and you can hook up, but we are. As women, conditioned to when a penis goes in you, your body makes a connection with the man that is a bond because it thinks he's going off to hunt for you and your baby that you're making, even though you're just drunk and you met him at a nightclub and he's not going hunting and you're not making a baby. Mm-hmm. And then you get thrown off and you get like, screwed up about this guy and he throws you off your track. So I'm just trying to guys aren't going to like this special.
No, but let me tell you right now, that is so powerful you're putting out there, because what people do not realize, sex is very powerful.
It's very powerful.
And it's an emotional, it's a spiritual bond that people do not wake up to. And it's very, very difficult to walk away from it.
It is. And both men and women need to be very cautious about it, because it does bond you in ways that you don't even understand what your body does.
You don't.
And it's really risky. And I wish it was taught in sex ed a little bit more of watch out for your emotions.
Absolutely.
It's not fair. I wish I would have figured it out soon, and I'm still figuring out.
Your special is going to be in the curriculum of schools across America.
I hope so. I really hope so. Tony is in Toy Story 4. When you got the call to do that, this movie, I mean, were you so psyched?
I was, but I've got that impostor theory, much like Forky in the movie, where it's like someone's going to find out that they've made a mistake and I'm not supposed to be here.
Do you still have that?
Oh, 100%. My wife worked on SNL as a makeup artist for many, many years, and she said every single actor that came into SNL had the impostor theory.
Yeah.
That someone's going to find out. It's almost just like built into us. And so I feel like that when they said it, I was like, no, surely they meant, Tony Danza or something like that. And then when it came in waves, where it was like, oh, well, that is my voice. And then even at the premiere last week, I was like, all right, well, maybe I am. Maybe that is me. So it's just the realization. Because, it's been around for 25 years. And when I first moved to New York in 95, the first Toy Story came out. And it was like, it's weird. Like, I remember seeing that movie and being like, oh, my God, this is beautiful to think one day I'd be somehow associated with it.
It's so cool. But that is nice to know that imposter syndrome even goes You've
yeah.
won 2 Emmys. Now, when you won those, did you think maybe there's some glitch or it wasn't a good year? Do you make up excuses? I mean, how do you?
Do you know what? I'm glad you asked, because when I remember when I was going to the Emmys, was something. It was, I remember I used to minimize it, kind of like, oh, you know, it doesn't matter, just to kind of digest it because it was so big. And my therapist was like, well, this time when you go, just kind of look around and absorb the moment and be like, all right, so I'm here. This is wild. This is cool. I'm here. This is a lot. I'm nervous. But like, watch people. And because of that, I remember it.
Yes.
Because when I would find myself kind of detaching from it, just because it was too, even if it's hard stuff or good stuff, when you kind of detach because you don't want to feel it, I don't remember it. But when you allow yourself to feel it and look around and be like, okay, there's that, then I tend to remember it more.
I mean, you're dead on. I'm seeing a new therapist now too, who often tells me just check in with your body and like your surroundings and place yourself in the moment, just like you're saying. And it does make you remember and appreciate things more. I did the same thing on my special. There was a big sign with my name on it, and I'm like, who am I that I've achieved this? Let me just take this in because this is real. And it all goes back to the thoughts things. Like, it's just, even in this moment, I can't believe that I am talking to you like a friend when you are someone that I have admired for so many years.
Comes from a lot
and
of
continue to admire.
My work comes from a lot of pain.
Yeah, but and as does mine, and it's nice to know that. It's
Do you have that moment where you see your name and it almost doesn't feel like your name?
Yes.
Where you're like, who's Nikki Glaser?
Yes.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
It's nice to know you feel that too. It's because I'm present right now, and I'm truly honored that you are here at my show.
Oh
because
my God, I'm so thankful.
You're so cool. You're so talented. You've taken. I've always said this about you. Buster and Gary are 2 characters that you could have played so similarly and have so many of the same, but they are so They are so different and lovable and tragic in their own unique ways. You're truly a master of
that's so nice.
Comedic acting, and it's
That's really nice.
And people will look to your performances forever for inspiration. And
I love that Buster and Forky and Gary are all kind of neurotic, and it's like they're little neurotic Avengers just out there doing good.
Just behind the bar.
You sing like Jerry Seinfeld talks.
How's that chorus go?
Did you ever notice the subtle things of the airplane food and
thing? What's this lamp doing here?
That is how you sing!
My couch is a what? It's on a chair. It's a car. Ticklecock.
Oh, that was so weird. What was that about?
It's still going on.
What is going on?
Ticklecock.
Okay, your middle name is T. You call yourself ATC, and you said you got a lot of DMs asking you what your middle name
Not
is.
a lot. That
meaning
was a lie.
maybe one.
Yeah.
At most. Maybe that isn't even exaggeration. I think in your own head, people were demanding, what does T stand for?
Yes.
What is the T? What is the T?
Yes.
We all just assume Tom or some other worthless name that doesn't matter.
Yes.
But you had to tell us all on Instagram that your middle name is Ticklecock.
Yes. I'm
Why?
Andrew Ticklecock Collin now.
What made you write that?
One, it's my name. If Jackie Fabulous, Andrew Ticklecock, we all have nicknames. But
This is Puddle Boy all over again.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get embarrassed by it, and then you're gonna erase it in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
You probably already deleted that one.
No, it's still going.
Did it get a lot of likes?
Yeah. Oh, decent. Yeah, good, man. It's good. This is the thing with Ticklecock. Sorry about that. And in the jeans. Just kidding. JK. Anyways, so.
I don't know what you're saying. Okay, go on.
Ticklecock came up because she thought I cheated on her, and I was scratched on my arm. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, "Did you cheat?" And I go, "No, I didn't cheat." And then I scratched her to show that I didn't cheat, which I don't know if that's the approach you should take.
Well,
I didn't scratch her hard. I just showed her, because she said you bite your nails. There's no way you could scratch yourself.
Oh, because you.
She's like, you have no
scratches.
nails.
Yeah.
And I have scratches on my arm, so I scratched her to show her.
Oh, that you could scratch.
Yeah. And then I said, have I ever made you get so hot in sex that you scratched me? And she hasn't. Mm-hmm. Which, because I'm bad at sex, saved me here. But she said, I don't scratch you because you're ticklish. And I go, that's because you tickle me only on my armpits and my thighs and my feet. But if you tickled me on my back or scratched me on my back, I'd be fine. And then it came up, tickle cock. Tickle my cock.
I'm glad we got there. Thank you so much for watching that clip that you just watched. Did you enjoy it? I hope you did. If you did, thumbs up it. Why don't you subscribe? Why don't you just keep watching more videos? Let them play. Share with your friends. Go share on your Instagram story. Go, just have a great day.